Good morning. Just getting myself ready to go. I'm going to be doing some resin pouring this morning and thought it might be nice to bring you all along for a little bit just to sort of chat and hang out. I know I haven't done one of these in a little while, so right now I'm currently trying to fill out some orders that people have made, and so I'm working on that. And one of my nails popped off, and I'm very sad about that. So, let me see. Go ahead and mix my resin, and then get some things going. Hi, JP. I'm using Puduo resin. It works really nicely. I have minimal bubbles without having to do a pressure pot. It's very nice. I'm going to do a full 100 milliliters of it. And then stir, stir, stir. My cat is going crazy behind me, so don't mind her. She's just being wild. She's the deaf one. That's what she does. I had some people asking me how I do resin, and how I mix it, because a lot of times people get a lot of bubbles when they're mixing it. But you see how I'm stirring it super, super slowly like this. I'm kind of channeling my science class. Hi, Lisa. I see you. So yeah, when I'm stirring the resin, I'm treating it like a chemical compound that I'm incorporating together. I'm not trying to mix it like super fast. That's the biggest thing that I see people make a mistake with, is trying to like beat it like an egg or something. And you have to treat it like it's some kind of chemical you're mixing together. Oh, Lisa, I miss hanging out with you. What time is it over there? It's early for you, isn't it? Oh, wait, no, you're in Florida now. Gosh, I keep forgetting you're down there. I keep thinking that you're always in California. Hi, Angie. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel that, my friend. I always forget. Yeah, I know. I'm sure you miss California. Ugh. It's so nice over there. Florida's kind of wild right now, so if you ever need to escape, we're just up in Georgia. We just haven't been traveling much, except like within state for shows and signings and things like that. So you're always welcome to come up here, my friend. Yeah, I've been just been working on restocking, because I had a major show at Toylanta, not last weekend, but the weekend before, and just about got wiped out. And then I restocked, and then I had an online, a live show. I was on the Makers Live with Jody and Pat on YouTube, and it was super nice, but I had a lot of my stock wiped out, so I'm restocking because we have another show this weekend. Oof. Aw, I will give her hugs for you. Lena is in a meeting. We actually share an office space right now, so I have to choose my live times at a time when she's not like in a meeting, because she has like the day job and mine is the art job. And so I always feel like when I go live, it's like a little bit less important than like when she has to be in meetings where she has to chat. So right now it's just a listening meeting. So that's good because she doesn't have to talk. So I can get on and talk with you guys. But yeah, Lisa, there's a ton of author events and stuff like that. Lisa, did you see about the gosh, what is it? The SFA, the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers Association? Did you see that they lowered their requirements to be able to become a member? You should do it. Lena's doing it. I'm probably gonna try to be a member as an artist, which would be awesome. So you can add that and the Horror Writers Association under my belt, and then I'll feel like a real a real professional instead of someone working out of their shared study with their cat screaming in the window occasionally. Yeah, it is really cool. Do check it out. It's awesome. I think you would definitely qualify if you haven't gotten in already. Like, you have so many books. You definitely got this, girl. Seriously. Um but yeah, just mixing the resin. This takes about 5 minutes. I usually just eyeball it. Sometimes I measure the time really specifically if I'm not really paying attention or doing a bunch of other things, but I'm looking for it to be this nice, like, crystal clear. And you see there's one or two bubbles, but not very many at all. It's very clear, and that's from that careful mixing. That's how that goes. So, things I'm working on right now. I'm making a second Monstera coaster. This is the first one for the set. I haven't painted the inside yet, but I think it's really pretty. It's a bunch of different colors of resin, and this is what the back looks like. So, mixing the different types of pigments caused it to rise or fall properly. So, I really like the way this color turned out, so I'm going to try to replicate this in the second one. And I wish I had two molds like this. I could make them both at the same time, but I was dumb when I bought this mold, and now I can't find it again. So I'm just like, well, that's just how it goes, right? You live, you make, and you learn. So I'm working on that. I'm also working on a second, this is a little skeleton hand mold. I like to make those little hair clips out of it. I need a second white one and a second glow-in-the-dark pink. So I'm probably going to go with white today because I mixed the white in with this one to create that color. You'll see when I mix it around. So yeah, this one's probably going to be white. I have 2 planchette stud earring molds here. I have my bat molds. Now these I've painted on the inside with my Color Shift Maleficent glitter, which makes me so happy. I can't even. That's from Jet Age Studio, and it makes me really happy. But these smaller ones I turn into French hook earrings, and then the larger ones I turn into little hair clips, and they're very cute. But again, I was dumb, and when I bought this mold, I bought one. So in order to do that, I have to make a batch and then let it cure. and then make another batch and then let it cure, and then I can work with them. So this is how it goes. I'm also working on these little coasters. These have little calendula flowers in them and some greenery. This is all from Southern Gardener Gifts, a friend of mine there in South Carolina. And you can't see it really easy under here, but when I demold it, you will. There's a little paper moth from Moth and Myth in there. So this is 2 layers of resin. The first one was the moth, and the second one is the flowers. And now I get to do a back filling with a color. What color? That's going to be interesting. Bye, Lisa. Nice talking to you for a minute. Hello, channel your thoughts. Welcome, welcome. I'm also making more planchettes. This is a glow-in-the-dark pigment in here, and then I'm going to fill it with other colors and then paint it. And this one is, you can't see this one that easy. Let me move these things around some so you can see. This one has more of the Maleficent glitter in it because it's going to match this planchette, this mini planchette that I'm making. I like to keep one matching set at least of planchette and mini Ouija board, and this is the other one's all sold, so I need to make some more. And then Marilena wants a set of these. They're really nice creepy bird skulls, but she wants them in silver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it as a black, and then I'll paint it silver so that it has that nice bold color to it. And then whatever I have left over, I'm going to make a moth out of. So I've got a lot of plans going on. We'll see how far the resin gets me. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So first thing I'm going to need is some white. So let's get a nice little paper cup. Add a bit of resin to this. I'm always a slob when I pour it, so I'm trying not to be a slob, but I might just pour it. Let's see. And you guys can judge me. It's fine. I judge myself. No one can judge me as harshly as I judge myself. Okay, so now let me get my white. I'm using Resin Expressions. Oh, big reach. Probably grab a couple of these because I'm going to be mixing some colors up. Let's get this. Get a little. It's a nice, clean white color, and I really like this one. It's also heavy, so it sinks really nicely when you put it with other things, which you'll see in a minute. So let me go ahead and take care of my little skeleton hand up here. So I saw a screener last night from Focus Features of a movie that comes out on Friday. It's called You Won't Be Alone. And I have to write my review of it still, which will be on my blog at morbidsmile.com. But I am very excited about it. It's a very cool, witchy movie that it feels a little bit like a cross between John Carpenter's The Thing and The Witch. And I really enjoyed it. It's got some Guillermo del Toro vibes in there, like some, I don't know, it has some Pan's Labyrinth kind of feel to it. So I quite liked it. And it's been on my mind a lot. And that's a good sign for me if a movie stays like in my head, even after I've like stopped watching it and I keep thinking about it. That tells me it's pretty good. It had some really interesting takes on like mythology and folklore. And I haven't seen a movie like this, this type of witchcraft depicted in a while. Like, I don't think I've ever seen it. Oh, the movie it really has big vibes of. If you've ever seen The Company of Wolves, it's an older movie. It has Angela Lansbury in it. But it is really surreal and weird, like the genre weird, like weird fiction weird. But it had similar vibes to that. It was really interesting. So I'm going to be writing my review up later today. I just wanted to get my resin taken care of so it can be curing, because that's important. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for a few. Now I'm going to come over here and get into the next bit. I'm going to need some black. Probably a bit more, because I have this big old thing to fill up. So the black I use is Color Passion. Black Passion. And let me pour some in here. Get some of this. I love these pastes. I've been really into the pastes lately because I really like the powders, but you'll see there's so much more messy. And I worry about like getting them all over the place, inhaling them, that kind of thing. Not that you should go around trying to inhale, obviously. But it's just a thing that I think about sometimes with that. Okay, I have extra white. Maybe I'll make my little Ouija boards here white. My little planchettes. That might be cool. So let me go ahead and drop this in here. And then just trust it to fill the rest of the mold. I don't wear a lot of stud earrings, but they're definitely popular. They're definitely something a lot of people enjoy, so I'm trying to keep some on hand more often. Okay, let's good spot to pick this up that isn't a mess. There we go. Because I'm too lazy to put on gloves. Okay. So, let me go ahead and add this here. Might need extra black in a bit, but I'm going to let that try to cover up, and we'll see how the coverage gets in a few. So this extra white that I have, because I always make too much of whatever color, I am going to do the mixture that I did last time. So, and I am sloppy about mixing, so, but this is what I did. I added in some of this green pigment. And this is May Spring's Shiny Malachite. And what that does is the white is super heavy. This white is made for making cells for like ocean pores. And so what happens is it pulls it down towards the ground. And so your green is going to really pop once it gets all mixed in. And these things aren't going to stay super mixed, so they'll separate as they cure. I might add some more. I like to over add pigment sometimes just to give it like extra pep, I guess. I don't know. I'm probably incredibly wasteful. I'm sure there's someone that's like, oh my god, I can't believe she's adding so much. I just, I'm also trying to remember how I did this yesterday. There we go. So I don't know if you can see how that is, but it's got that nice sheen to it now, and you can see the mica powder inside of it. So there's that part. And then the other thing I did, let me get another little cup. And pour some resin in here. Make a mess, because that's what I do. Okay. So the other thing that I did was I took this, this is a sample glitter. This is a Color Shift Green from my friend Deluc Art. She's our Color Passion representative here in the U.S. And she's also super, super nice. But I'm gonna mess with the lid a little bit. So I didn't put it back properly. So I'm gonna add some of this glitter like that. And then I have this. Now this is from Jet Age Studio. They sent me some nice samples, and this is a green to purple color shifting pigment. And I am a Jet Age Studio addict. I love all of their flake glitters. So, of course I had to try this, and it works really nicely. You'll see what I mean. So I'm adding just a good amount of it. to this little batch of stuff I'm making. And then I'm going to stir this up. And it creates this really interesting depth with the purple and the green. And so now I'm going to try to remember the order I put this in, but I'm pretty sure that what I did is I moved my black to the side. I took this bit and I put this along the edge of the leaves, because this is kind of how the growth would happen. You'd get the brighter parts towards the edges of the leaves, and then the darker parts would be in the middle. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm sticking this here, putting this all around on the edges. Try to make it kind of even. Not perfectly, because half the fun of resin is, the unevenness. If you want something perfectly even, you can go to a store and buy it, but we stay on arts here, so arts are messy. So now I've got that. So now I'm going to come back in with this mixture, and I'm going to put this along these edges here, and it'll push it to the edge. And because I'm pouring all these wet, they're going to mingle. Okay. Now I'm going to come in before it gets too far along and add my little bit of black. Just adding it along where the stem is. Okay. Draw it up a bit. Zoop like that. And the thing is, it'll clean itself up as it continues. So now I'm just going to fill it the rest of the way with this mixture. Just come around and so I think that looks pretty good, but it's not full. So I'm going to make more of my little glitter mixture and top it off a bit with that. And if I have extra glitter mixture, oh gosh, I almost put that in on the upside down cup. That would have been cool. That would have been very cool. So yeah, more of my color shift green, like that. Oh, hi Jeff, glad to see you. get this bag open. That would be amazing. Okay, there we go. Ugh. Get this in here. And then mix, mix, mix. Gets that nice color again. And I'm going to add this again on the edges, just to top off the mold. Making sure the mold has plenty of stuff in it so it doesn't, so you don't get that weird like concaveness whenever you demold it. Because then you have to sand that down, and that's not fun for anybody. Let's see, that's nice. And there we go. Now I have a little bit of this left. So what I might do is use some of it in my butterfly mold that I have here. Because if I start it here at the wings, then whatever I add will push it deeper into that area. It's all about fluid dynamics here in the resin world. Over here. Okay. That looks pretty good, I think. Okay. So, now, I am going to need more black, but in the meantime, I can go ahead and take care of these little bats. These are such cute little hair clips and earrings. They're so spooky, and I love them. And I wish I could make more at a time, but I cannot because I'm dumb and only bought one mold, but that's okay. All right. Hopefully I didn't pour too much in there just now. We're going to find out. Let's mix this around. Pour this in here with this dude. This is one of 2 earrings for Marlena. She wants something cool, and I'm going to paint this silver afterwards. Okay. And now, the rest of this, I'm going to pour into this one. Because black and pink is a classic combo, and I am here for it. And just top this one off. There we go. So that's pretty good. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Now, I've been trying to think of what to put here, and I think I might go with a brown. Because brown is always good. I have a nice warm brown color that I know would look nice. Look very pretty. That might be where we go. There we go. Can I make pins from resin? No, you can actually. You can totally make pins. You can make brooches. You just have to have the back matter to do it with. So when I make my my hair clasp things, well, I don't think I have any up here right now. But they have a little black metal alligator clasp on the back of them, and I seal that on that with either resin or jewelry glue, and it works really nice. So yeah, you can make all kinds of interesting things with the resin. It's just making sure you have the back piece to adhere to it. I've just now started getting into like drilling holes in it to because you can drill into them and sand them just like anything else. So I've just started getting into doing that. And that's been kind of nice because I can shape it the way that I want to. Okay, let me get this brown out. I keep everything in like Tupperware. Everything is organized, despite how unorganized it looks. So this is what this brown glitter pigment looks like. This is another gift from Debbie because she is amazing, from Deluxe Art. She is the sweetest. I'm going to open it very carefully because it is a powder. And you don't want this getting everywhere. Okay. So let me stir this around. I know, Q. So see, isn't that pretty? I might just backfill one of these right now because I don't know if I have enough resin to do both, so we'll just do one. This is layer 3 on these coasters. I don't make coasters as often as I used to. But every time I have some, they don't sell very well on Etsy, but they sell really well in person. And I always forget that until I do an in-person show. And then all of a sudden people are like, oh, do you have any coasters? And I'm like, oh, no. I sometimes do. And then I feel bad, you know. So just moving it around. Getting that coverage. I used to take a popsicle stick and move it around that way. But I found that introduced air bubbles. Yes, Q, we know. That's the deaf kitty again. She loves screaming. Okay. So that should keep that nice coverage. And then I can adjust it with another layer later and keep going. And this one needs to be, this little butterfly needs more stuff to it. So I have just a tiny bit of resin left. Teeny amount. So I'm going to add something that would go with it. Why not this magic ocean? That'd be cute. Oh no, I could just add my malachite. I literally have it right here. Huh, I'm dumb. Okay. So I got some really good advice once from a resin artist I followed ages ago on YouTube. And I can't remember who they are. But they said that resin goes where resin's been. So if you lay out the path for the resin, it will follow that path unless the surface tension breaks. And it has to go somewhere new. So in that sense, resin can be very predictable when you're pouring it. You just have to pay attention to where it's going and where it's been. I found that very helpful because resin is one of these daunting things where you'll pour it and then sometimes you'll get like a pattern you didn't want, or it'll go in a direction you didn't expect. And I've learned from that logic that it is predictable if you are kind of ahead of the game, if you get there before the resin does and make sure the path is clear. So in this particular mold, I've laid out the far distant areas here already with the other resin. And then I'm coming in with this resin and just filling in where I want the resin to go. And because the surface tension isn't broken, it'll blend all nicely up and hopefully look really cool. You can't tell if it's going to look cool until you get there, but I think it looks pretty neat so far. Okay, let's stick that in my little pile over here. I have a little bit of brown left, so I might add some of that to it too, just because. That could be pretty cute. And that'll help to push it into these antennae. This is how it always is with resin. You're never sure if you've poured the right amount. And no matter how much you pour, you're always scraping at the end. Because you don't want to waste any. Resin is not cheap. But you also I find that when I pour some, I'll be like, okay, this is all I need. And then I pour it, and then I'm like, oh, well, I have extra. I better go ahead and make some other things. So then I make other things. And then I'm like, oh no, I don't have enough resin to make all of the other things I wanted. So it just becomes a cycle of, you can get really trapped in making more resin, making less resin. So you just end up scraping it all no matter what happens. That's just how that goes. I'm just encouraging it to get into the antennae. And letting it mix some. Just blending around. Welcome to everybody who's joined. So see how I'm mixing this up? I'm just opening and closing the mold back and forth like this. It's silicone, it can handle it. And just stretching that around. Just encouraging it to move without introducing extra air. I'm just encouraging it to get down into these little areas. It'll probably travel the rest of the way on its own, but I want to make sure that it goes there so that if I need to backfill it, which I probably will, because I can tell it's kind of shallow here. See how it's like not completely filled the mold? I'll probably have to backfill it later, but that's okay. Just moving this aside so it gets a little more even in those wings. There we go. And then we just lay it flat and let it wait. Now, I have stopped using heat as much on my molds, unless I'm using it in the very center. So let me show you what I've been doing. So my torch I use, and it does feel very cool to use, but I'm just doing like boop, boop, like that, just real quick, almost nothing. For a bigger mold like this, just running it along the middle, not the edges, because the edges, if you run it along there, it can fuse the resin to the silicone, and then when you try to pull it out, it'll tear a hole in it. I speak from personal experience. So let me show you what I do for these smaller molds. Since I can't use the heat gun, I have a bottle of isopropyl alcohol, just plain old rubbing alcohol, and I just give everything a little spritz. And that pops any bubbles that come up to the surface. It smells awful, but it does its job. And that's really what you want at this point. So yeah, now I'll wait for these to cure, and then I'll demold them later. Some of them are going to need another layer, like this one will need more layer, this one will need another layer, this one. But the planchettes, all these pieces, these will come right out. So if you want me to live stream that as well, just let me know in the comments on this. Thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate you all.